What's up YouTube, Dimlex here, and today I want to talk about the possible rise of the Sinister Six in the MCU. Now if you don't know who the Sinister Six are, they're basically a group of Spider-Man's rogues gallery that team up to take out the Wall Crawler. Throughout the Sinister Six's existence in the comics, on television, and the movies, the roster consistently changes, meaning there is no definitive lineup of one of the most recognizable supervillain organizations in the Marvel Universe. If you have seen Spider-Man Homecoming, you'll notice that the film hints at the Sinister Six being set up for future films, with the introduction of 3 members from the team. Vulture, who was the main villain of Homecoming. Sure, Spider-Man saved his life, but now that he's locked up in prison and separated from his family, I'm sure you wouldn't mind dishing out a little bit of payback, even though Vulture may end up being the most resilient member of the Sinister Six. Next we have Shocker, who was originally Jackson Bryce, but got vaporized by Toomes thinking it was the anti-gravity gun. Now Herman Schultz takes up the mantle as the Shocker. The funny thing was, he only had 1 glove and he still was able to hold his own against Spider-Man. Just imagine if he had 2.
I wasn't sure about this thing at first, but damn.
The last villain to be teased as part of the Sinister Six was Matt Gargan, who in the comics becomes Scorpion, and he's got a tattoo to prove it. And if you still didn't believe the Sinister Six was coming, the post-credit scene hits it home.
What are the odds you and I'd end up at the same summer camp? Relax. This? It's not on you. It's on our little spider friend. I've got some boys on the outside who'd love to meet him. You know, take a picture, slice his throat, put his head in the dryer.
However, this isn't the first time a Spider-Man film has tried establishing the Sinister Six. It all started with the post-credit scene from The Amazing Spider-Man, and it was unnecessarily forced in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, with the roster teased to be Green Goblin, Vulture, Rhino, Kraven the Hunter, Dr. Octopus, and Mysterio, or Chameleon, depending on how you interpret the mask. But those plans crashed and burned, so Sony decided to collaborate with Marvel Studios to integrate Spider-Man into the MCU, and the rest is history. So the question remains, who will be the last 3 villains to join the MCU's Sinister Six? Well, there have been reports that Jake Gyllenhaal is in talks to play Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, in the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming, who is the master of hypnosis and illusions, thanks to his experience in special effects, which can be the perfect test for Spider-Man to trust his senses. As for the last 2 members, I nominate Kraven the Hunter and Doc Ock. Kraven because I want to keep the trend of introducing Spider-Man villains that have never been brought to the big screen, and his hunting skills can prove useful in tracking/trapping Spider-Man. And last but not least, Doc Ock has been the most consistent member of the Sinister Six in the comics, and was the villain who established the team in the first place during the events of the Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1 way back in 1964. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about the inclusion of the Sinister Six in the MCU. Are you hoping to see Spider-Man fight against his greatest foes at the same time on the big screen? And if the Sinister Six does eventually happen, who would you want to see a part of the roster? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, it really helps me out. Subscribe for more content from me on Spider-Man and other films in general. I'm Dimlex. I'll see you in the future.